and then from impact forward you can see how I turn to face the target. So I'll do that down the line as well, and you'll see that my trail heel comes up just like it would in a golf swing, but it doesn't come up powerfully because I'm not using power now, I'm using more finesse. Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about how to use the lower body for short game shots. I don't think I've taught a short game lesson or a short game school where somebody doesn't raise their hand and ask, what do you do with the lower body when you're hitting a chip or a pitch? And we're going to answer that question today. But before we get to that, I've really enjoyed bringing this free content to you. In our YouTube community, it's growing, and I want it to continue to grow, and you can help me with that by liking this video when it's over, subscribing to my YouTube channel, which just alerts you when I have new videos available for you to watch, thanking me with it, which is a great new feature on YouTube, and it allows you to contribute to the ongoing success of my YouTube channel. And as always, please comment. It helps in more ways than you know. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is we have to review what is a short game shot. And within the short game, there are two shots that we teach. One is a chip and one is a pitch. Remember, a chip is a ball that rolls further than it flies, and a pitch is a ball that flies further than it rolls. And I like to distinguish between the two because there are clubs that go with each, there's a setup that goes with each, and there's a technique that goes with each. And that's what we're going to talk about. And as we talk about this, we're also going to discuss what does the lower body do during these short game shots. As I mentioned, it's one of the most popular questions that I get in short game lessons, short game golf schools when we go over the short game. You get the idea. So chipping, and we'll start with that first. When I chip, I'm going to tend to use a less lofted club because remember, I want to keep the ball low, I want it to roll, and it's easier to do that when I have less loft. So what I have here is a 9-iron, and you can see it doesn't have as much loft as my pitching wedge does here. My 56-degree sand wedge does there. The next thing I need to consider is ball position. And again, in an effort to keep the ball low, always go back to the definition, but in an effort to keep the ball low, I'm going to play it back in my stance. Because if I had it in the middle of the stance and the shaft was straight up and down, when I expose the loft of the club to the ball is going to go up into the air, and that's not what I want with this shot. So I'm going to take a less lofted club, my 9-iron, I'm going to play the ball back in my stance, and then from there, technique-wise, all I teach is to create a putting stroke, and you've heard that before. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is not a lot of risks. So this upside-down triangle, the pendulum, whatever you want to refer to it as, I'm just moving it back and I'm moving it forward. So let's hit one here, and before we do that, let's get to the topic, and that's how do I use my body, or how to use my body, lower body, in the short game. And so what I like to see, and I learned this from a good friend of mine, James Seekman. He is a PGA Tour short game instructor. And what we want to see is really nothing on the backswing. So my lower body does absolutely nothing. It's like I'm in concrete from my hips down to my feet. Now, if you watch this video over and over, you might say, hey, Mark, it's moving a little bit. But it's more of a feel that my lower body is really doing nothing. And my arms and the club are just rising up. And then from impact forward, you can see how I turn to face the target. So I'll do that down the line as well, and you'll see that my trail heel comes up just like it would in a golf swing, but it doesn't come up powerfully because I'm not using power now, I'm using more finesse. So as I said, on the backswing, nothing happens, and then from impact forward, I just ever so gently follow the club, follow the ball to the target. So let's see if we can execute here. So I know I'm chipping. I'm going to use my less lofted club. I have my 9-iron. I'm going to play the ball back in my stance, create this nice putting stroke, but my lower body's going to do nothing on the way back, and then just ever so gently follow through, coming through. And that was great. That was a very crisp chip shot, and definitely felt like I used my body, my lower body properly when I did that. So now let's change subjects here. Let's get into pitching. And remember, a pitch flies further than it rolls. So now I'm going to use a lofted club. I've got my 56-degree sand wedge here. I'm going to have the ball more in the middle of my stance with the shaft straight up and down, because now I want to use the loft. I want the ball to go up into the air, so I'm going to use the loft as I hit this shot. And you can see it in other videos that I've shot, but I teach my students a knee-high, waist-high, and shoulder-high swing to control their distances. So you can think of it as a quarter, a half, a three-quarter, a small, medium, large. You can put it into any terms that you want, but that's essentially what we're doing. So I set up, and now, again, referencing how do I use my lower body, and I'm going to use a waist-high swing here. It's kind of the middle. It's the medium one. It's a great one to practice. For me, it's usually good for about 20 yards, and that's carry. That's not total. As a player, I can't control the total, only the carry. But I'm going to go waist-high to waist-high. Nothing happens with my lower body on the backswing, and from impact forward, you can see I'm just turning to follow the club, follow the ball, face the target. So here we go. We're going to go waist-high to waist-high, using that lower body the way that we're supposed to. And again, good shot, good contact, not too steep, didn't get caught in the grass. We'll do that one more time just so you at home can see again. So I'm going to go waist-high to waist-high. My lower body in my mind does nothing on the backswing, and it just follows on the forward swing. So give that a try. It'll definitely clean up the contact with your chipping and your pitching once you understand how to use that lower body properly. So now you understand how to use the lower body for short game shots. We reviewed the short game, chipping and pitching, and then I gave you that feel that should happen when we hit these short game shots, whether you're chipping or pitching. That lower body is very quiet, the arms and the club rise up, and then I just ever so gently follow the club, follow the ball to the target. I have 2 more videos up here right now that I know will continue to help to improve your game. Please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank me if you found this video helpful. It's a great new feature on YouTube that allows you to contribute to the ongoing success of my YouTube channel. And as always, comment.